Hello, school family. Happy Sunday. I hope everybody's having a great weekend. It was a very happy weekend in the Walker family. My brother-in-law, Jamal, got married yesterday to his new wife, Brittany, who is now my sister-in-law. So it was a great weekend. I hope you've had a great weekend as well. Very happy to be home now, relaxing and getting ready for a new week. Big changes are coming, so we're going to discuss that a little bit before we jump into our work of the week, okay? So tomorrow is normally a live instruction day. It is no longer. Tomorrow is going to be an asynchronous day all day long. So no morning meeting, no live instruction whatsoever, because teachers are using this as their prep day to get ready to prepare our classrooms for students to return. As we talked about in the last email that I sent out, we have cohort A, cohort B, and then cohort C. So cohort A and B are coming on different days into the building, 2 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday, Friday. And then cohort C are all of our friends that are staying virtual. And like we talked about before, that choice is totally up to you, but that schedule is going to begin on March 1st. So teachers are fully returning to the building. And tomorrow is that day for us to be able to prep and get ready for our students to come in, okay? So there is no instruction live tomorrow. It is an asynchronous day, which means your students can be doing things like Raz Plus, First in Math, working on the choice board that you're going to receive in the same email. All of those things are going to be super beneficial for practice and review of the skills that we're going to be working on this week or for previous skills that we've worked on before. So please, if you have not been doing that choice board, tomorrow would be a great way to get started with it and to continue working on it throughout the week. Okay, so that's Monday, all asynchronous instruction. Tuesday is a regular live instruction day. Wednesday is going to remain that asynchronous day like we normally do. So there'll be class meeting. And I will still meet with my one-on-one sessions that last pretty much for the whole day. But other than that, class meeting, students are asynchronous for the rest of that day. And this is so that we can continue to get things ready to go if we have any meetings or anything we need to attend to. But for my students that do those one-on-one sessions, we will still have those on Wednesday. Okay? Thursday is a regular live instruction day. And then Friday is a 3-hour early dismissal. This really doesn't affect us very much. 3 hours early dismissal, it makes it 1 o'clock that we finish up. So I will only not have my last group on that day. And my second small group will be ending 10 minutes early. So that really doesn't do a whole lot to us. Also, the students will not have special. So that is one thing that is a change. So this week is a little bit different, a little bit tricky. So just keep in your mind, nothing tomorrow. It's an asynchronous day. Tuesday, regular. Wednesday, asynchronous with morning meeting and one-on-ones. Thursday, regular. Friday, 3-hour early dismissal. So that's no third small group or special time. Okay, we'll talk more about that, of course, each day as students are logging on and off. I'll give reminders about all of that. Okay, so let's get into our work of the week. We are continuing this week in shared reading with that big question about weather. So we're still talking about how can you stay safe in bad weather. And this week specifically, we are working on a story called Waiting Out the Storm. And we are going to use relationships between the illustrations and text as our first objective that we're going to work on Tuesday. So remember, the relationship is how the author and the illustrator come together to make that story make sense. We're trying to get our students to understand and think about if the the illustrator is drawing this picture, does it match what the words are telling us? Do we have to use our own thoughts to kind of visualize and figure out what's happening in the story? Or does the author make the words match the illustrations perfectly? We know that the older our students get, the picture books that we're using and the things that we're able to see in the illustrations kind of drift off a little bit, and we're more reliant on the words. So we really want our students focusing in on how those two things work together. And if the author doesn't do his job or the illustrator doesn't do his job, the story would not make sense. Okay, so we're going to keep working on that one. So that's for Tuesday. Remember, Wednesday is asynchronous with one-on-one, so we will not have any shared reading on Wednesday. Thursday, we're going to read a fiction text. It's those interactive read-aloud cards called The Rainbow Crow, and that's going to be character, setting, and major event. And by now, we better know what characters and setting and events are. We've been getting so good at those. And then on Friday, we're going to do a nonfiction text called Be Safe. And the objective that we're going to work on for this one is a new one. It's called Author's Purpose. So we want students to think about, why do authors write the things that they write. So if this is a nonfiction text, what was his purpose in writing this book? Now the book is called Be Safe. So make some guesses in your head. What could that book be about? Especially if we're talking about bad weather. How can you be safe in bad weather? The author's purpose is to tell people, if you come up against bad weather, what do you do? These are the things you should do. So we want students to be able on their own to identify what the author's purpose of writing the text was. Okay, so we're going to work on that on Friday. Moving on to phonics this week, it's going to be an easy peasy one. We did so good last week with for you and x for X. Everyone did a great job with that. We are going to be working on letter Z, and that's going to be all week long because this is also a review week. So we're going to talk about Z. We're going to manipulate it from the beginning and the end and in different places in words. And then we're going to go back and draw from some of those old letters that we've already worked on. The stack is getting pretty thick now for the ones that we should have mastered. We're going to use the Z using the other letters as well to build words, to break up words, to blend them and do lots of activities. Okay, so that is for phonics all week. Z. And then some review activities on Thursday and Friday. Our sight word this week is all, A-L-L, all. Remember, you should be practicing sight words, hopefully daily, maybe every other day. Students should be working on these sight words. It is excellent practice so that they are mastering those words that they should know by heart so that they can move on and be able to read in text without having to leak those words out or sound them out. Okay, and there is a book that goes in that that open court book, that red book that you have called Liz and Tad. So I know some students have been tearing those books out and using them to work on out of that big, the open court red book that you have. So if you want to pull out that pre-decodable, that would be awesome. So your student is getting some practice other than what we're just doing on the computer together. Okay, and then moving on to math, we are continuing with our shape work this week. We're going to do a game called Spin and Count Shapes, and then we're moving on to an activity called The Hungry Caterpillar. So stay tuned for that. Not the hungry caterpillar like our story, but something about a hungry caterpillar in math. So we'll have to wait to find out what that is. Okay, so I think that is everything for the week. Of course, this week, if you have questions about the reopening, if you have questions about when the students are supposed to be on or off the computer, please feel free to text me or email me, and we can touch base and make sure everybody's good to go. Okay, so enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I will not see my students tomorrow, but I am super excited that I am going to be back in our classroom, getting it set up and ready to rock and roll for our students to return on March 1st. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Have a great day, and I will see you Tuesday at 9 a.m. Mwah.